today is the 20th or 18th, she said.
18th of
April
2016.
I'm here with, wait a second, how did I say it?
Lester Willoughby.
Lester Willoughby. I'm here with Lester Willoughby. It's April the 18th, 2016. And Lester is going to tell us about a sighting that he had of a Tasmanian tiger. Lester, when was that sighting, approximately?
It was approximately the mid-1990s. On a Friday evening, I was heading from this property to Sheffield in northern Tasmania. It was after dark, about 1 hour after dark.
Now, where are we at here? We're west of Mole Creek.
West of Mole Creek, approximately 8 nautical miles from Cradle Mountain Lodge, and we're approximately 2 nautical miles from the Lambentine Valley.
Okay.
In a straight line. And the sighting where I saw the tiger was approximately 8 nautical miles north-northwest of here on the Olivers Road between Mersey Forest Road and Claude Road on the way to Sheffield. It's about 1 hour after dark.
How far from Sheffield was it then, do you reckon?
Probably about 12 nautical miles.
Okay.
In nautical miles, if you talk that. Yeah, it was about one hour after dark. It came across the road in front of me, about 100 metres away, in the headlights of the car. Slowed a little and looked in my direction into the headlights, and immediately looked back into the direction of its travel and headed off into the bush. The sighting lasted probably 4 seconds, maybe 5.
This was around 2008?
Yes, this was around 2008. Yes, this particular sighting.
So it's not that long ago. So when the tiger was in the middle of the road, it sort of paused, or it had actually stopped, or was it still jogging, or?
It was still moving.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a hesitation in its travel. It would be going from a half full gait run to, say, a jog,
Mm-hmm.
in tiger terms. So it slowed, definitely slowed, and showed interest, but due to its timid nature, didn't stop. Like I say, a kangaroo might stop in your headlights. It didn't do that, it continued.
Do you recall any eye shine? Was there a color of the eye shine?
No, there was no difference. If you came across a possum in the headlights, you know, the eyes that light up a golden sort of colour, this had no change at all.
Well, that's curious, because a lot of people have reported that really shines up good, but I guess it also depends on the angle of the light.
Angle, yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't probably square on to it. It was more probably 75 degrees or something.
And now, what made you think it was, that's a silly question, what made you think it was a tiger? What distinguishing features did you note?
The unusual length to the height. For it to be a dog, it was fairly low set for the length. This particular animal was longer than an Alsatian dog or Labrador or anything like that. About the height of an Alsatian, probably about half a metre high off the ground, but unusually long for the height. That's something I noticed. Fairly thick tail, didn't have a thin waggly sort of tail, it had a fairly thick sort of tail on it. And it did have faint stripes on it. You could sort of see that.
On the tail?
No, on the body.
On the body.
Yeah. I didn't see any stripes on the tail or anything like that.
No, yeah. But you did see stripes on the body?
Stripes on the body, but not vivid sort of stripes that you might picture.
Mm-hmm. Not like a zebra?
No. Fairly sort of faint, but a difference in coloration in fur is about all you'd say.
Mm-hmm. Was it a stiff tail or a floppy tail, or how would you characterize?
Fairly stiff, I'd say. Yeah, not a thin tail at all. Not a tail that would move around.
Was it a short tail, a long tail, or a medium?
Probably about medium.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't real long, wasn't real short. But I did notice it was fairly thick.
But not curled like a dog.
No,
Some
not
dogs.
like a dog. No, this is more like a thick stick hanging out the back of it rather than a curl or anything.
Hmm.
It didn't look like it could probably waggle it too easily. Yeah, I stopped the car, but there was no sight of it. Tried to look for it in the bush with a large torch.
You did, but you took a torch out.
I took a torch out, I stopped the car.
So to do that, you must have.
Oh, well, I was dead certain it was a tiger. There's no question about that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you're absolutely sure, and 1 meaning you're not sure, where on the scale of 1 to 10 would you be?
Somewhere around 11, I'd say. No, definitely a positive sighting, in my opinion. Yeah.
And could you give us just a little bit of background? You're born in the city or born in the bush or the rural area, or what's your background?
Basically a rural background. Spent 20 years in the middle of Hobart, but at the same time we owned a property up the Derwent Valley, so a little bit of both.
So you know what?
I know the bush. I know
You know the bush,
very
yeah.
well. Yeah.
With the animals in the bush, the different animals in the.
Yes, yes.
yeah.
You'd pretty well call me a bushman as such, but I didn't spend all my life in the bush. No, I was educated in the city, and I work in the city. Have done for many years, but I know the bush, and I know the animals in the bush.
Now, this is your only Tasmanian tiger sighting, is that correct, or had you had other sightings?
When we had the farm in the 1960s.
Which farm are you talking about? The one by Hobart, or
the one by Hobart up the
Yeah.
Derwent Valley, out the
What's
back in Norfolk.
what's the name of the valley?
The Lackland Valley,
All right.
which is adjacent to the Mount Wellington Range National Park these days. In the 60s it was more isolated than what it is today. These days there's a lot of homes dotted around the valley on small land holdings. We had sightings on that farm which we believe was definitely a Tasmanian tiger.
Now, would these have been from your family members or yourself?
From what I've seen myself, my father had seen them.
And you thought you'd seen some yourself
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
And this was back in the 1960s?
1960s. Yeah.
Okay.
But those days, not 100 metres away, more like across the other side of a fairly large paddock, might have been 300-400 metres away. So yeah, not real close, not as close and as distinct and clear as this particular sighting. It was in the headlights of the car. They were on full beam, the lights, on a bitumen road, clear night, no distractions to like wind and rain or anything to make you think it could be something else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was a fairly close sighting.
Did you also say that you had possibly seen what you thought could have been tiger tracks?
Yes, we believe we found those sort of things.
And when was that?
It was probably about 2005. Yeah.
Just before this sighting?
Before, yeah.
And
could have been a similar.
And approximately where were those tracks sighted?
About 2 nautical miles northwest of here.
Here being near Lena?
Yes, yeah.
And what made you thought they were tiger tracks as opposed to a wombat or a dog?
Just the style of the print. It wasn't a dog print, it wasn't a kangaroo print, wombat, none of that.
You know what a wombat?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Because some of the wombat tracks look a little bit like a tiger.
They do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. I appreciate you telling us about that, and you're very lucky to have had those sightings. And let me know if you come across a tiger again.
I certainly will. Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Okay. Oh, sorry about all that.